It begins without warning, a subtle shift that no one acknowledges at first. Perhaps you're just a child, maybe around 7 or 8. But you find yourself looking at your parents, the person who should be your anchor, slowly unraveling. It could be the weight of addiction, the storm of anger, or simply an overwhelming quiet that consumes them. The kind of silence that fills the room with a presence you can't quite explain. They may be there in body, but they're gone in spirit. And in that emptiness, something awakens inside of you. If I don't hold everything together, no one will. That moment is when the first seed of responsibility is planted in a child's heart. It's the moment when a child, without words, begins to feel that they must act as the emotional anchor for their world. They start to smile more, cry less. They learn to read the room before they even know what a room is. They step into a role they were never meant to fill, the caretaker, the peacekeeper, the one who takes the weight of the world on their small shoulders. And it feels like a survival instinct at the time. If they don't do it, who will? But here's the tragedy. They grow up too fast. They're no longer a child in their heart. Not truly. They've become something else. Someone else. Someone older. Someone who's already learned how to be strong when they should have been allowed to be soft. They're praised for it too. You're so mature. You're so responsible. You're so strong. And the world applauds. But what no one asks is, at what cost? This is the invisible grief of children who had to grow up too fast. It doesn't fade with time. It doesn't vanish when you become an adult. In fact, it often takes root deeper. It shapes you in ways you can't even begin to understand. It follows you into your relationships, your career, your sense of self-worth. And if you don't recognize what happened, if you don't understand what you were forced to do, you will spend your whole adult life repeating those survival patterns. The ones that once kept you afloat, but now, they're slowly drowning you. This phenomenon is known as parentification. Psychologists use this term to describe when a child is forced to step into a role that is meant for an adult. They become the caregiver, the protector, the therapist, the emotional caretaker. They're the ones who keep the peace, who smooth over the tension. They're the ones who are forced to manage their own emotions, and often, the emotions of everyone else around them. This is not just unhealthy. It's a distortion of development. It rewires a child's brain. And what does this rewiring lead to? Hypervigilance. It's like a constant state of alertness that never goes away. A child who grows up like this is always scanning for danger, always walking on eggshells, always waiting for the next emotional storm. They learn that love is not unconditional. It's transactional. I give you peace, and maybe you'll give me safety in return. They learn that their needs are dangerous, that they don't matter as much as the adult's needs do, and so they disappear. Not physically, but emotionally. The child vanishes, and in their place, a version of themselves emerges that is performing. The good child, the quiet achiever, the one who never asks for anything. They grow up too fast, and in doing so, they become masters at hiding their own pain. They wear that mask so well that they begin to believe it themselves. They forget that there ever was a child behind it. But deep down, something hurts. Something aches. Because that child you buried didn't die. They're still there, hidden under all the layers of strength and maturity. They're still screaming inside. And that cry? It's for help. It's for someone to come and take all of the weight off their shoulders for just a moment. As the years pass, the patterns become more complicated. They might become hyper-independent. They might refuse help, push people away, or feel completely unsafe in relationships. They might numb themselves to joy, because happiness feels unfamiliar, even dangerous. They might struggle to rest, to relax, because only through productivity have they ever felt worthy of love. They might feel completely disconnected from their emotions, or they might feel like they're constantly performing in every relationship they have. You see, when dysfunction is normalized from a young age, it's easy for that child to grow up in a state of permanent survival mode. Calm feels suspicious, stillness feels wrong, love feels like something they have to repay. In short, they've been trained to believe that their worth is tied to their ability to be strong and self-sufficient. The irony is, they never had the chance to learn what it really meant to be truly loved, to be truly supported, without having to give anything in return. And that is the cost of growing up too fast. Now, you might ask, why would any child willingly take on such a heavy burden? It's simple. Children will do anything for attachment. Anything. Even if it means abandoning their own needs, their own authenticity, just to feel like they belong. It's not a weakness, it's instinct, it's survival. A child's deepest need is for connection, and if they don't feel safe in their own home, they'll sacrifice their own needs to ensure they stay connected to the people they love. The tragedy is this: what saved them once, their ability to take care of others, to be strong, to perform, now imprisons them. It imprisons them in a cycle they can't escape from. Many of us are walking around as adults, functioning on autopilot, high-achieving, yet secretly carrying around the burden of an abandoned inner child. We give, we perform, we work ourselves to the bone, but inside, we're silently wishing that someone, anyone, would stop and ask if we're okay. We've become the ones who keep everyone else together, and all the while, we're waiting for someone to hold us when we fall apart. But the fantasy we hold, that someone will finally see us, that someone will finally notice the cracks beneath the surface, is an unmet need. It's not even the adult part of us that's wishing for this. It's the child we never let ourselves be. The first step to healing is simple, but it's incredibly difficult. It's not about fixing yourself. It's not about pushing the pain aside or pretending everything is fine. It's about witnessing. It's about turning towards the pain and saying, I see you, I hear you, and I'm not leaving. This is where true healing begins. This is the work that is necessary to untangle the knots that were tied in childhood, to bring ourselves back to the truth of who we were meant to be before we were forced to grow up too fast. You might think, it wasn't that bad, or other people had it worse. You might try to convince yourself that you turned out fine. But the truth is, fine is just a mask too. Deep down, you know it. And this is the hardest part, the moment when you stop gaslighting yourself. You stop telling yourself that your needs aren't important. You stop pretending that everything is okay when it's not. So what happens to a person who has grown up too fast? What becomes of them as an adult? They become the kind of person who can't trust softness, who flinches at compliments, who apologizes for crying. They become the ones who constantly feel like they're not enough, no matter how much they do, no matter how many people they take care of. They become givers who can't receive, lovers who can't trust, workers who can't rest. They become people who confuse exhaustion with success and who measure their worth by how much they give to others. These aren't personality flaws. These are survival mechanisms. They were learned in childhood, when you were forced to put everyone else's needs ahead of your own. The good news? They can be unlearned. But only when you stop idolizing your strength and start honoring your wounds. One of the most powerful things you can do is ask yourself, what did I need back then that I never got? You may hear answers like, I needed someone to tell me it wasn't my fault. I needed someone to ask how I was doing. I needed to laugh. I needed to play. I needed to rest. And when you start to listen to that inner child, when you start to give yourself what you never received, that's when the healing truly begins. This doesn't fix the past. It doesn't erase the pain. But it stops you from repeating the patterns that kept you stuck. It stops you from searching for the love and care you didn't get as a child in your adult relationships. It helps you break free from the trauma that has shaped how you view yourself and start living your life in a way that is true to who you are, who you were meant to be. And maybe, just maybe, for the first time, you'll realize that the journey isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. If you grew up too fast, know this: your maturity was never the problem. The problem was that you had no choice but to grow up. But now you do. Now you can choose softness. Now you can choose to rest. Now you can choose to stop fixing everyone else and start honoring your own needs. It won't happen overnight. Some days, you'll still feel like that child inside you is lost. But that's okay. That child is coming home. And you, at long last, are finally learning how to be whole. You may have missed out on the childhood you deserved, but the future is still yours to shape. This time, you hold the pen.